Good morning, lovely friends. How are you all doing today? I hope you're well. I'm okay. I don't want to go on it. I've still got something going on and it's just boring and frustrating and annoying now. I had been planning to be in the garden today, but I'm being sensible for once in my life. The work that I want to get on with now in the garden is a bit more physical. And I just thought, you know what? For weeks now, my body has been working really hard trying to fight something off. It's left me a little bit, don't push it. It is annoying and frustrating. But you know what? Fine. The garden can wait. I've got things I can get on with indoors. I really, really loved that session in the garden. You'll have seen the video a couple of days ago now of getting the first seeds sown. There was real warmth in the sunshine when I was in the sunshine. It was so quiet and the air was so still. Every little bit of bird song was coming to me. It was the perfect thing to do, the perfect way to enjoy the garden without overexerting at the moment. Yeah, I loved every second of it, and I hope some of that came through the screen, I really do. After I'd finished filming, I got my trusty clipboard out and I went and stood next to each bed, the 4 main veg beds, the herb bed and then the deck area, and just made some really detailed notes about everything that I would like to do in each bed, both in terms of some of the jobs I ought to have done in November, December, plus sort of jobs that I would want to be getting on with in January and February anyway. So I've made those detailed notes, came home, rationalised them into a schedule of work to get on with. Can't wait. But I am going to wait a little while, just give my body a chance to recover a little bit. Yeah, it's like I said, it's boring, it's frustrating. Thank you for asking how I'm doing. It's taking its time, that's all. Now, the first thing I want to tell you about today is kind of partly as a result of whatever's been going on. I got to a stage a few days ago where I was just sneezing all the time and producing copious amounts of, runny nose stuff. So blowing my nose every 2 minutes, and despite the fact that I have a vast collection of handkerchiefs, I've got one of my hankies with me today. This one, my lovely Liberty hankies. Isn't that gorgeous fabric? Just because it's nicer than what I have been using. Yeah, despite my vast collection, I'd kind of got through all my hankies in half a day. Excuse me. I would normally only get through 2 hankies in a day, sometimes 1. I always have a clean hanky every day, but anyway, and I thought I'm going to have to buy tissues. And then I thought, I know, I think I'll get some loo roll, because loo roll is cheaper than, tissues. I don't care. I'm at home, no one can see me using a loo roll. I'll go out and buy some loo rolls. And it was about, 9:30, 10 in the morning. I really didn't feel like going out, but I was like, come on, drag yourself out, Vivi. So I went out. And on my way back, because I was on the far side of the road, I was at the pedestrian crossing waiting for the little man to go green. I heard a little voice say, I've got a parcel for you, Vivi's kitchen garden. I turned round and there's my postie. So I just want to share this little story with you because it's so cute and it feels to me it's all that part of that thing of why I like being in this community. The postie that I saw the other day, he's been on my round for about a year and a bit. I think he was my postie last Christmas. But yeah, he's only been on my round for about just a little bit over a year. And of course, normally when I get my post, it mostly comes through the letterbox. It's not often it's a parcel. In other words, it's not often that we meet face to face on my doorstep. He sees my face, I see his. So it's taken a little while to get to know him, because my previous postie had been on my round years. It was my previous postie, I remember this, when how long, it must have been about 4 years or, I'm trying to think now. No, when I first started the shop, it was about 3 years ago, my little online shop. Oh, people always ask, where's your shop? The details are always in the more info box underneath each video title. Anyway, so that's when I started the shop, and that's when I started my PO box. So I always have a return address if something goes wrong with the post, so that I don't necessarily have to give out my private address, but I do need an address for the business. And he brought a parcel to me. I can't remember the circumstances. Anyway, it was addressed to Vivi's Kitchen Garden. This is my old post I'm talking about now. And so I opened the front door to take the parcel. And as he handed it over to me, he said, Vivi's Kitchen Garden? And I said, yes, thank you. And he sort of stood there and he looked up at the building. Because he knows I'm in the top of the building, because it takes me ages to come down the stairs to answer the door. So he's looking up and he said, have you got a garden up there then? Is that where you've got a garden? I was laughing, no. My garden is an allotment, it's a ways from the house. And it wasn't long after that, I saw him one day in the park that I walked through to go to and from the allotment. And I was leaving the allotment one day and he was coming into the park as I was leaving. And he said, oh, is this where your garden is? And I said, yes, it's not the top of the house. And then from then on, it must have been, sorry, it must have been the timing of it that I would try and do a morning session, and I'd be leaving the allotment at say 1:30, 2 in the afternoon. And that must be when he'd finished his round. Because the number of times I was coming out through the park and he was going home through the park, I'd see him. Sometimes he'd be on the far side of the park as I'd be coming through, and he'd holler over, Vivi, you've got a parcel, I've left it with the shop. So yeah, it was very useful to build up a relationship. I mean, I like building relationships anyway, but it's great when it's with the postie, because, you know, it's that thing of, say I've been out and it's only sort of 9:30 in the morning and I'm coming back up the street and the postie is at number, let's say I live at number 100 and the postie is at number 300. If I walk past him, he'll be like, oh, I've got something for you in my bag, it's assigned for. Just do it there on the street. Anyway, that was the old postie. I'd built up a nice relationship. With the new postie, it was taking a bit of time, just because I hadn't had the same number of sort of parcels and those opportunities to have face-to-face. I remember there was a time when I walked past him in the street and said, morning! He didn't know who I was, didn't recognise me. But then, oh, I don't know, how did it come about? It was sometime last summer. He started to put 2 and 2 together. This face, this address, Vivi's Kitchen Garden. So then, you know, we started. Anyway, cut back to this a couple of days ago when I was on the corner and he sidled up and he said, I've got a parcel for you, Vivi's Kitchen Garden. And I said, oh, great, let me take it from you. And he said, oh, no, it's still in the van. He said, are you on your way home? And I said, yeah. He said, oh, give me 10 minutes. And I joked and I said, by the time I get home, go up all the stairs and then come down all the stairs again. That'll be 10 minutes. And he said, oh, let me go and get it off the van for you. And the van was parked up a side street. I said, I'll come with you. He said, no, you wait here. I know your knees. Everyone knows about, I must talk about my knees all the time, sorry. Anyway, I did go with him. And he was, moving things around in the back of the van to find the box. And as soon as he found the box, I saw the make, the brand that's inside the box on the outside. And I sort of went, oh, yay, smellies! He looked at me like I'm a weirdo. Anyway, that was a long and roundabout way of saying, you know what, build a relationship with the people that, you know, are in and out of your life all the time, whether it's your postie or your bin men. I say bin men because I don't think any of my refuse collectors are women. I've never seen any women on the truck, but, you know. Anyway, I got a lovely parcel and you'll see why I squealed. So this is one end of it. La, This box will obviously be reused. I'll reuse it when I'm posting something from my shop, and whoever gets it, you're going to get a blast of the beautiful smell. This is a lovely, really naughty treat gift from, I didn't ask him whether I could use his name. Let's call him Mr. T rather than use his whole name. And it's a selection box. It's a lovely selection of, oh, the smell, of shampoo bars. But there is one in particular. There's a sort of list of all of them and their ingredients. It's almost like cooking. Was that the one oh my goodness, they smell good enough to eat. Is that the one with nettle and peppermint? No. Which was the one? Jason and the Argan Oil. Like the name of it. So that's how they are when they're new and unused. So they don't look very big, do they? And this is what I was talking about the other day, about how they were expensive and they look really little. But by golly, they last for ages. This selection box is going to last me, I think it's going to last me 2 years. I wish I could, have a sniff. Did you just sniff? You did, didn't you? This one has in it, what's the smell? Oh, rose absolute, geranium. Oh, I love those smells. I've got a jumping juniper. Honey, I washed my hair. And then this other, this one's gorgeous as well. This one is called Boost, Shine and Stimulate. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, this was the one. It's got, love that, little, like a lolly stick embedded. Be cruelty free. This has got clove oil in it. Mr. T, thank you so much. It's gorgeous. Not only is the parcel gorgeous, it was a lovely little interaction with my postie, and I'll be honest, it was that thing of that morning, just came a couple of days ago, I was feeling really grotty, and you know, when you have those moments and you start to feel a bit sorry for yourself. I don't mean in a big way, but just fed up with feeling below par. Utterly fed up with it. I want to wake up one morning and be full of my usual bounce, and it's bugging me that I'm not. So to get this on that morning, it was such a fantastic cheer up. So thank you, Mr. T. Another slug of water. You see, it's a happy life, isn't it? Okay, so I'm talking about happy life, and it's a frugal life. Thank you for your fantastic response about the no spend year. A low spend, no spend. It's kind of like a no spend year, isn't it? You know what I mean. 2 things. I'm going to tell you a little story and show you something in a second. But first of all, I'm going to do a little tiny catch up about that at the end of this month before we launch into next month, to tell you how I've done this month, what I'm doing, but also to sort of like talk about the subjects that we're going to discuss this year. And then if you think there's anything I've missed, you can message me on that video, and then we can think about incorporating that further down the line. But it's kind of partly to do with no spend, but also when I was talking about my 9 habits of a frugal girl, that turned out to be 8 and I had to add one on, I was saying that thing of always having that question of, do I need it? And having that running mental list of things that I need, but I try never to be in a hurry to go out and buy them, rather sort of wait for opportunities where I can get them either for free or, you know, really cheap, what have you. The thing was, about 2 weeks ago, it was just into the new year. I can't believe we're racing towards the end of January already, aren't we? Crikey. Anyway, I just started the new year. I just changed the bed linen, and I've got that's not 3. I've got 3 duvet covers that I use in rotation, 3 bottom sheets, more pillowcases than 3 sets. I've probably got the equivalent of about 5 sets. I don't know, I've picked up pillowcases along the year. But anyway, 3 duvet covers, 3 bottom sheets that are always in rotation. And one of them was started off as quite cheap, and it shows it's a low thread count, and it's looking a little bit worn, a bit threadbare. But one of the other ones, and I worked out, I've had it for 30 years. Come this September 22, it was September 92 I bought it. I really had to think, and I had to think back to the flat I was living in at that time. And as soon as I could picture the flat, I could then work out the year. Anyway, so there's one duvet cover I've had for 30 years, goodness me. So threadbare, and it's already had loads of repairs. Because remember what we were saying about that whole need versus want is it something that I can repair? You know, don't give up on something. I'm always darning socks and repairing bits and bobs and just eking out a bit more life. So this duvet cover has had quite a few repairs over the years. But honestly, it was really, it was getting to the end of its life. So the seam along the top edge of the duvet cover, where the underside and the top side of the duvet meet, it's that edge that, you know, it's the edge that we bring up under our chin and tuck into at night. That seam kept popping open just because it was so utterly threadbare. And I'd sew a new seam, and it's getting to the stage where there was just nothing to sew into, if you see what I mean. So I'd put it on. In fact, I think I seem to remember the last time I washed it and hung it out to dry, I was thinking, I don't think this is going to last. But anyway, I changed the sheets at New Year's and put that one on. And sure enough, about a couple of nights later, I've mentioned previously I'm a real restless leg syndrome, but I'm also a bit of a tosser and turner at night anyway. I'm not the world's best sleeper. I'd done an almighty sort of toss or turn in the night to the accompaniment of sound, literally down the length of the duvet, as in in line with my body. Just the massivest rip. I mean, it just from one end of the biggest rip from one end of the duvet down to the bottom end. And because it was in the middle of the night, got tangled, I just kind of flipped the whole duvet over, so I had the top side of the duvet next to my skin with now on top the big flapping. Anyway, I got up in the morning, I looked at it and I was like, there's no point, because where that rip was, even if I was to put a patch along the whole length of it to sew the patch on, I'm sewing it into the most ridiculously threadbare material. But never mind, it's consigned to the scrap heap. Scrap heap as in material scraps. Any bits of it which are usable, because it's been washed, so it's cotton, and so because it's been washed so many times, it's so soft and smooth. So where I can, what I may do is cut squares for new handkerchiefs, because handkerchiefs are really expensive if you buy them new. So yeah, it'll become handkerchiefs. The top side that's had less wear may become a couple of pillowcases, cushion covers. Actually, it'd be nice fabric for cushion covers for when I move, because all of my current cushions, all the covers are really threadbare too. So yeah, it will not go to waste. It will just be repurposed. And if I do any of that and I think it's interesting enough, I might show you what I'm doing via video. Anyway, the long and the short is I'm now down to 2 duvet covers. One which was quite a poor quality, it was cheap in the first place, I shouldn't have bought it, it was cheap. And the other which is a really good quality cover. So I'd put that onto my mental list of I could do with a 3rd duvet cover. And you might say, why do you need a 3rd one? Make do with 2. But there's always that thing of, well, firstly, one of them is, I think, I think one of the ones that remains is on its last legs, and that's going to go too. But it's just that thing of, you know, if you're ever poorly, you know what it's like. Maybe I need a change of duvet cover more than once. So yeah, I like to have 3 onto the mental list. And then a couple of days, like 4 days or so ago now, 5 days, I lose track of time. Honestly, the fact that it's nearly the end of January is a bit discombobulating. I went to my local charity shop, you know where this is going, to drop off some books. I'm being really good, you know, keep clearing things out, clear them out. I'm going to talk about a couple of books afterwards as well. So I went to drop them off and I was really good. I didn't go and look at the book section. I've got enough books to keep me going. I don't need any new books. I'm not going to look at the book section unless I have a quick squiz to see if there's anything there that I think would go well in my shop. But on that occasion, no, I didn't look. But I do always look at the household linens section, because I'm not buying linens to hoard them. I'm buying them to cut them up, to make them into things to sell. So it's work. That's how I justify it. And anyway, a couple of things caught my eye straight away. And I've got a king size duvet, and quite often in the charity shops, the duvet covers are a standard size. But this one, I'm going to show it to you in a second, of course. But this one caught my eye, the colours. In fact, it caught my eye before I knew it was a duvet cover. It was the fabric. The fabric caught my eye. I thought, that's gorgeous. I'm ploughing in there. I'm going to go and have a look. And of course, what's the first thing we do? We feel it, don't we? That's the very first thing. I was thinking about this afterwards with fabrics, how it's like they're like plants in a way. You can't just look at a fabric. You have to feel it. And for me, it's the same when I'm in a garden, especially when it's not my own garden and it's plants I don't know. The first thing I want to do is rub a leaf and smell. Does it have an oil? Does it have a smell? If it's got a flower, I want to smell the flower. You can't just look at a plant, or I can't anyway. I have to touch, I have to smell. I want to have all my senses involved. And it's the same with fabric. The first thing I do is I feel it. Second thing I do, I smell it. Why do I smell fabrics? I don't know. It's the same with books. I pick it up, I feel it, have a smell. Touching and smelling. Anyway, beautiful fabric. I felt it. I was like, oh, this is gorgeous. This is really, really good quality cotton, which is what I'm always after for my makes. For the lavender bags, it can be a slightly lighter weight cotton, but for something like bunting or other things I've got in mind to make, it has to be that quilting weight cotton or slightly heavier. This is slightly heavier than quilting cotton. Really beautiful, good quality cotton. I thought, great. Right, rummaging around, trying to find out is it curtains? Oh, it's a duvet cover. Looking for the price tag, because it's always the price that dictates. Sorry, this blasted cough. Yeah, if I'm going to cut something up, I want to know, you know, roughly how many meters am I getting out of it for the price? Is that worth it? Someone once said to me about looking in charity shops for shirts and dresses to cut up. The fact is, there's not a lot of fabric in there necessarily that I can use. If a skirt is, you know, £10, there might only be 1.5 meters, 2 meters of fabric in it. It's quite a lot. Whereas a duvet cover obviously gets more. So I looked at the label and it was a king size and it was £10. So I stood there and I thought, well, I need a king size duvet cover. And then I had that whole thing that I do with anything I buy. I'm stood there thinking, can I justify it? Can I justify spending £10 whole on something? But the quality of the cotton is stunning. The fabric itself is beautiful. And I thought, you know what, even if I don't use it as a duvet cover, there's got to be 10 meters or more of material in that. Never mind the buttons and the trims. There's got to be 10, maybe 12 meters of material in that for 10 quid. £1 for a metre of fabric. Are you kidding me? You can't get a fabric for £1 a metre, not quality. That fabric is the sort of fabric I would expect if I was buying off the roll to pay £10 a metre for. I reckon that's £100 worth of fabric. So yeah, I didn't have to hum and ha very long. I bought it, £10, well spent. Got it home, got it washed, got it dried, got it on the bed. Shall I show it to you? I want to show it to you, it's gorgeous. Oh, and just last thing to say is, because I don't shop new, I don't go to new shops, I'm not really aware of brands and labels. There are a couple of them in terms of, say, the clothes from what I used to buy. So like Boden, White Stuff, Sea Salt. So I know that they're good labels, they're quality. But it was when I was hanging it out to dry and I saw a little label on the corner. I thought, oh, it said jewels. And I thought, I think I've heard of that. I'm not sure. I'll go online and see what their bedding costs. Just have a little quick comparison. Oh my goodness. So it's quite an expensive brand. Now, what I would say is I could tell it was quality just when I touched it straight away. But their duvet covers are about £100 for a king size duvet cover. About £100, 100 for one cover. I'm really, really out of touch with new items and how much they cost. I don't know that this has ever been used even. So yeah, I think £10 for a duvet cover of any sort is a bargain. But one that's such quality, definitely a bargain. Right, let me show it to you because the fabric is gorgeous. Oh, and then what I'll do is I'm going to show you that and then we'll swing around. So for those who've not seen it on Facebook or on my new Instagram, again, thank you for those of you who come over to have a look there. I'll show you what I did with the little window treatment. Remember I was talking about, I've got those little sticky sucker hooks to put up and I was just going to put some vintage linen up just for a bit of privacy. That's up, so I'll show you that too. Come on. So there it is. Oh my goodness, how gorgeous. I'm just going to bring you in a bit closer because there's a couple of details I want to point out. Look at this beautiful parrot. Now, I don't normally go for things with yellow in, but I don't mind this yellow because it's quite a sort of dark mustardy yellow. Oh, another parrot. But yeah, I am chuffed with that. Beautiful. Now, it's quite bright and colourful, and for winter, I think that's nice. It's quite cosy. But then what I really like is flicking up the reverse. On the underside, let me stretch out so you can see a bit. It's just this really simple stripe. And I thought, well, for the summer, that will be lovely because it's just that bit sort of more simple, cool, light and airy feeling for the summer. But yeah, what a bargain. What an absolute bargain. I mean, I reckon there's got to be 12 metres of fabric in it. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love it. I'm so happy with it. It's so funny, though, to think that, you know, I did stand there for quite a few minutes thinking, should I, shouldn't I, can I justify it? And to think I might have walked away and missed it. I'd have been kicking myself by now, wouldn't I? But I didn't. I got it and I'm chuffed. Right, so that's the bed, and then this, very simply, is what happened in the window. Unfortunately, there's no sunshine today. When the sun is shining, it's lovely because the light comes through and it really shows. Actually, this is what I was thinking the other day, and I was saying with my sis that what's lovely is this is a really wrecked old tablecloth. Let me show you close up. Where this is all pulled thread work, it's all split. It's been in one of my, you can see it's had a load of repairs here already. It's been in my repair yet again pile for the longest time. And also, you know, how often, well, certainly not in this flat because of the space. I've not had the space to have a table to have out to have a cloth on. So this is, to me, this is a really lovely way of showing off a nice little bit of the vintage linen. And it works for that bit of privacy. So literally all it is, let's see up here, that's the sucker hook with the dowel. Now, if I was doing this on a more permanent basis, I'd paint the dowel. I'd paint it white. At the moment, I've got it quite low down. Excuse me. Just because that's the piece of linen I grabbed. But for days when it's really bright sunshine and the shadows are mucking around with me trying to do any photographs here, because I do all my shop stock photography here, I can just raise the bar, as it were, and just find a longer piece of linen. Talking of shop stock, they are waiting to be put into the shop. That's the last. Oh, they look lovely as well, don't they? This is the very last of my small squash. Oh yeah. The large squash are in the kitchen, and the even larger ones, there's a couple left at the shed. But yeah, they just sit there because they're just too beautiful to put away anywhere, aren't they? And also it's a really nice way to use this gorgeous old bowl, which I always have to remind myself to be careful when picking it up and moving it, because you see this whole handle, this completely sheared off. But like every good frugal girl, I repaired it, glued it back on. Right, good. You're up to date with my window and my bed, because you need to be. Let's have another sit. I'm chuffed with both of those things, the bed cover and the little window treatment. It's just that thing, isn't it, of I am quite a nester. I do like my home. I like to feel sort of cosy and secure and safe here. And it's lovely to just do nice things with one's home, but not necessarily for a heap of cash. You know, doing that window, that piece of dowel, I don't know how much it cost, 80p or something, ages ago. I needed it as a prop for something else. Yeah, I can't even remember how long I've had it. I'm just stashed behind the bathroom door. The tablecloth itself, I will have picked up maybe for a couple of quid as a bargain, because it did need so much repairing. And then the little sticky hooks, they were 15p each, I think. So, you know, probably that whole window, 31, 4 quid less. Bargain. Brilliant. Yes, nesting. Very much nesting at the moment. Oh. So, right, I was going to talk about a couple of books, but I realise, as per usual, I've gone on for ages already today, so I'm going to leave it there for now. I'll see how things go. I would really like to get back to the garden and take you all there with me. I'm just playing everything back ear a little bit at the moment. If I don't get to the garden, I'll be getting up to some mischief indoors. So whatever it is, whatever I'm up to, hopefully I'll bring you along so we can share bits of life together. Right then. Yeah, I need to lie down. What? It's ridiculous at the moment. I get up in the morning and by 9 o'clock I just want to go back to bed. Partly because my bed's so gorgeous, but also, honestly, just feeling so wiped. So I'm going to say cheerio for now. And I will see you all again, hopefully before too long, for I don't know what. We'll make it up as we go along. See you then. Bye for now, everyone. Please take care of yourselves. Stay well.